key that's the secret of great networkers is our skill sets. Being able to develop specific skills, our skill sets, specific skills that make things happen. Look at baseball players. Look at baseball players, the difference in their skill sets. They play the same game, they use the same ball, they pretty much use the same bats, but some of them develop way better skills than others. They're doing kind of the same thing, but they operate at different levels. And because of that, some of them make a few $1,000s a month, and some of them make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a month. And they're playing the same game, with the same ball, with pretty much the same bat, on the same fields, and yet there's a vast difference in what they make. By the way, a lot of them have the same belief system, a lot of them have the same attitude, a lot of them have the same character traits, but some of them develop their skills way more than others. Sometimes we think it's natural. Some of them are just gifted, and they're just plain natural. They're so natural at things. I've had the opportunity to be around certain athletes. I'll never forget what a great pitcher told me some time ago that's in the Hall of Fame. His name is Chuck Estrada from the Baltimore Orioles. He was a three-time 20-game winner in the majors, won a couple of World Series games, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and I'll never forget what he told me one time. He was a good friend of mine, and he says, it's amazing how many people I've run across in my career that are better pitchers than me. In grade school, in high school, in the majors, it's amazing how many people I've been around that's better pitchers than me. Thousands of them I've met that's better pitchers than me. He says that they didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. They never won 20 games. Most of them never even got close to the major leagues, and yet I've met thousands that are better pitchers than me. And the difference is the skill sets that he developed. They were better natural pitchers than him, but they didn't develop his specific skill sets. And so even though he didn't have the raw, what you might call the raw talent of those people, he ends up in the majors. He ends up winning the World Series. He ends up in the Hall of Fame. So these skill sets are really important. We could say the same thing about golfers. We'd say the same thing about people, corporate executives. We could say the same thing about network marketers. These skill sets are what's really, really important. I treat the business with the same mindset. Look at that bottom line there. It says, I treat the business with the same mindset, and the same skill set as a surgeon or a large corporate owner. In other words, I treat network marketing with that skill set, with that mindset. Do you? If you do, you're going to move ahead and you're going to become one of the premiers, 100s, 200s, and 500s and higher with XanGo. If you don't do that, if you don't decide to develop the same mindset and the same skill set as someone like a surgeon or a large corporate owner, you probably won't reach that high level. What about a surgeon? Would you want a surgeon working on you in a very delicate operation that did this as merely as a hobby and didn't take his profession very serious? Would you want that person performing surgery on you? No, you want that. If they're opening up my stomach or something, I want them to be really serious about their business. I want them to have a really serious mindset, and I want them to be highly skilled. Now, think about this. Think about the people you talk to. If they see that you're not really serious about it, that you're not skilled, that you kind of treat it more like a hobby, and you just kind of play around with it a little bit, you're not going someone that comes along talks to that same person, and then that person sees that they're serious about making money, they're serious about helping them make money, they're serious about the business, they're serious about getting ahead, they're serious about their life, they're serious about their growth, they're serious about your growth. When people feel that, then they'll join with you. If they don't feel that, they'll either not join with you, or they might like XanGo, but they'll go to somebody else to join with that has a serious mindset and a serious skill set. So a lot of people even have a good mindset and a skill set, but they don't get it across in such a way that they impress people. And so we need to also present ourselves in such a way that we impress people. Oftentimes I tell people this: what do you say? What do you say when people say, "What do you do?" It's an important question. What do you say? I ask that to people all the time. That to people all the time. I say, "What do you do?" I'll ask that to XanGo people. What do you do? Well, a lot of them do XanGo part-time, and so what they'll say is, "Oh, I work down at the grocery store," or "Oh, I'm a banker," or "Oh, I do this," or "I do that," or "I'm a driver," or something like that. I'll say, "I thought you were in XanGo." And they'll say, "Well, yeah, I am." And I'll say, "Well, then why did you tell me that you are a banker?" I say, "What is your goal? Is your goal to be a banker the rest of your life? Is your goal to sell shoes the rest of your life? Is your goal to be a grocery clerk the rest of your life? Or is your goal to have freedom for you and your family, success in network marketing, so that you can make the decisions of your life and not have some other person make your decisions for your life?" Which is your goal? Most of them say, "Well, my goal is to have freedom. My goal is to make my own choices. My goal is to eventually become full-time with XanGo." And I'll say, "Then why did you just tell me you're a grocery clerk?" Right away, that kind of tells people that it's a hobby. So whether you're doing this full-time or part-time, treat it full-time. Talk like it's full-time. Make it full-time in your head. Even if your activities are part-time, make it full-time in your head. That's one of the skill sets you can develop. Let's go further into some of the skill sets. What are your critical strengths and weaknesses? Look at some of those. If you're taking notes, maybe write a few down, or write them down. If you're, but regardless, look at them just for a little